The average American household is projected to spend over $84,000 on consumer expenditures in 2027. Wages haven't kept pace. They rarely do. The gap between what things cost and what people can actually afford isn't closing. It's widening quietly, one subscription and one convenience fee at a time. Here's the uncomfortable part. A huge share of that spending goes toward things that used to make sense and simply don't anymore. Purchases that felt normal a few years ago have transformed into financial traps engineered to extract maximum dollars for minimum value. Inflation doesn't fully explain it. Corporate pricing strategy explains it. Subscription stacking explains it. Fees layered on top of fees explain it. The economy you learn to navigate no longer plays by the same rules. Some habits that felt harmless 5 years ago now border on financial self-sabotage. This video breaks down 15 things that are no longer worth your money in 2027. Some of these will feel obvious, others might sting a little. All of them are quietly draining bank accounts while delivering less value than they used to. Understanding where the money actually goes is the first step toward keeping more of it. Number 1. AI subscription stacking. Every app wants to sell you an AI add-on now. ChatGPT+. A separate image generator subscription, a separate coding assistant, a separate AI-powered version of software you already pay for, now with a monthly surcharge attached to the same features that used to be included. Individually, each one looks reasonable. $20 here, $15 there. A $10 add-on tacked onto your existing email client because it now summarizes things. Add them up, and the average household dabbling in AI tools is spending $80 to $150 a month across overlapping services that do roughly the same 3 things: write text, generate images, and answer questions. That's $960 to $1,800 a year for capabilities that, in most cases, one well-chosen $20 subscription already covers. The industry is betting that novelty and FOMO will keep people paying for 5 tools when one would do. Most people haven't audited what they're actually using versus what they signed up for during a free trial 8 months ago. Check your statements. You'll find at least one AI subscription you forgot existed. Number 2, new cars. This one hasn't changed, it's gotten worse. The moment you drive a new car off the lot in 2027, it loses roughly 20% of its value before you reach the first stoplight. The average new car now runs close to $52,000. That's over $10,000 gone in the time it takes to merge onto the highway. By the end of year 1, depreciation typically hits 25 to 30%. Finance most of that purchase and negative equity sets in almost immediately. You owe more than the car is worth, and you're trapped until the balance catches up with reality. Meanwhile, a 5-year-old car has already absorbed the worst of its depreciation, and with basic maintenance, will comfortably run past 150,000 miles. Buy used, drive it a few years, sell before major repairs become likely, and you barely lose money in the process. The average new car payment has pushed past $820 a month. That's nearly $10,000 a year before insurance, gas, and maintenance. Millionaire research is consistent year after year. Most self-made millionaires drive Toyotas, Hondas, and Fords they bought used. They treat transportation as a utility, not a personality. Number 3, sit-down restaurants. Restaurant prices have climbed roughly 45% since 2019. A casual sit-down burger now runs $19 to $25 in most markets. Add a drink and an appetizer, and a single person is pushing $45 before tip. 2 people out for a normal dinner with drinks can easily hit $130 to $160. The value proposition hasn't just weakened, it's inverted. Prices have roughly doubled while portions have quietly shrunk, and service has gotten thinner as restaurants operate with leaner staff. Drinks remain the worst offender. A $16 cocktail costs the restaurant a few dollars in ingredients. A $5 soda costs pennies. These markups exist because food margins have been squeezed so hard that beverages are propping up the whole model. None of this means never eating out. It means the weekly habit, the reflexive Friday night dinner out, no longer clears the bar it used to. A family spending $220 a week on dining out is looking at over $11,000 a year for meals they could largely replicate at home for a quarter of the price. Number 4, streaming bundles. Streaming was supposed to be the cheap alternative to cable. That promise is dead. Between Netflix, Disney+, Hulu, Max, Prime Video, Apple TV+, Peacock, and Paramount+, subscribing to everything now runs well past $120 a month. That's over $1,400 a year, more than most people ever paid for cable. The fragmentation is deliberate. Shows move between platforms specifically to keep you subscribed to more than one at a time. Each service wants just enough exclusive content that canceling feels like losing something. They've quietly rebuilt the cable bundle they promised to replace. Except now you pay for each channel separately and manage 8 different logins to do it. The fix requires discipline most people won't exercise. Subscribe to one service, binge what you want, cancel, move to the next. Rotate instead of stacking, and you can watch everything you actually care about for $15 to $20 a month instead of $120. Number 5. Fast food. Fast food used to mean cheap food. That equation has collapsed. A combo meal at a major chain now runs $13 to $16. Even the historically cheap chains are charging $11 to $14 for something basic. Fast food prices have climbed over 60% since 2019, and the trajectory isn't reversing. The entire appeal was convenience at low cost. Strip out the low cost, and you're left with convenient, low-nutrition food at premium prices. For the same $15, a home-cooked meal with real ingredients takes 15 to 20 minutes to make and delivers actual nutritional value. The regular fast food habit now costs the average customer $3,500 to $5,500 a year, money spent actively working against your health while funding companies that have simply decided you'll keep paying whatever they charge. Number 6, the latest smartphone. The newest flagship phone now costs somewhere north of $1,300. It takes a marginally sharper photo than the phone already in your pocket. It runs the same apps, sends the same texts, opens the same 5 social apps everyone actually uses it for. The gap between generations has shrunk to nearly nothing for the average user, while the price tag keeps climbing. Manufacturers know this, which is why so much energy goes into planned obsolescence. Software updates that slow older devices, batteries engineered to degrade, repair costs that creep toward the price of just replacing the thing, by 1 or 2 generations behind the newest release, and you get a refurbished device for half the price with 0 noticeable difference in daily use. Someone chasing the newest flagship every 2 years is spending roughly $700 a year on depreciation for improvements they'd struggle to identify in a blind test. Number 7, expensive weddings. The average American wedding now runs close to $40,000. That's $40,000 for a single day. Financial stress remains one of the most consistently cited factors in divorce. And starting a marriage with $40,000 in debt or $40,000 less in savings is a strange foundation to build on. The wedding industry has perfected the art of charging double the moment the word wedding enters the conversation. The venue that costs $600 for a corporate event costs $6,000 for a reception. Flowers triple in price. Photography doubles. None of it reflects a difference in quality, only a difference in who's paying and how emotionally invested they are. Research has repeatedly found that couples who spend heavily on their wedding face measurably higher divorce rates than couples who keep it modest. Correlation isn't causation, but the pattern keeps showing up. If you can pay for a lavish wedding out of savings without touching retirement contributions or your emergency fund, that's genuinely your call. If it's going on a credit card, that's a different conversation entirely. Number 8, luxury travel. Airfare has climbed 35 to 45% since 2019. A domestic round trip that used to run $250 now regularly costs $400 to $450. A week-long vacation for 2 flights, hotel, food, and activities now lands somewhere between $4,500 and $7,000. A family theme park trip can easily clear $10,000 for a single week. For someone earning $55,000 a year, that trip eats close to 20% of their gross income for 7 days. Travel has real value. Experiences genuinely enrich life in ways objects don't. But the average American still can't cover a $1,000 emergency, and yet plenty of those same households are financing $6,000 vacations on credit cards. Budget travel, road trips instead of flights, rentals instead of resorts, home-cooked meals instead of restaurant tabs delivers most of the same experience for a fraction of the cost. Number 9, Buy now, pay later financing. These services have expanded to cover almost everything. A $60 pair of shoes, a $250 appliance, a $40 skincare set. The pitch is always the same. Split it into 4 payments, no interest if you're on time. The math tells a different story. Research consistently shows buy now, pay later users spend 10 to 40% more than they would paying up front because a $250 purchase feels expensive while 4 payments of $62.50 feels manageable. Your brain processes the smaller number and quietly ignores the total. Missed payment rates remain high, late fees stack, and what was pitched as free financing turns into expensive debt for a huge share of users. The older rule still holds. If you can't pay cash for it, you probably can't afford it. That rule bends for houses and sometimes cars, assets with years of utility behind them. It doesn't bend for a hoodie or a blender. That's just debt for consumption, and it's the worst kind. Number 10, branded products. A bottle of name brand laundry detergent runs $14 to $17. The store brand, frequently made in the same facility, costs $7 to $9 and performs virtually identically. This pattern repeats across cereal, pasta sauce, cleaning supplies, and over-the-counter medication. The name brand premium has almost nothing to do with quality and almost everything to do with decades of advertising spend. Independent testing consistently finds store brands match or exceed name brand performance in most categories. The generic pain reliever contains the same active ingredient at the same dose as the name brand for half the price. Switching from name brands to store brands across a typical household spending saves 25 to 40%, which on $6,000 to $8,000 of annual consumer goods spending works out to $1,500 to $3,000 back in your pocket every year for products that perform the same. Number 11, subscription boxes. The subscription box model has only grown. Boxes for snacks, skincare, wine, books, pet toys, razors, clothes picked by a stranger's algorithm. The appeal is psychological. Opening a mystery package triggers a small reward response, and the anticipation often outperforms the actual contents. The math rarely favors the subscriber. A typical box runs $28 to $55 a month, and the retail value of what's inside is usually less than the price paid. That gap is the entire business model. Cancellation is deliberately friction-heavy, and inertia keeps people paying for boxes that pile up unopened in closets. If you genuinely want specific products, buying them directly is cheaper. If you enjoy the surprise, at least recognize you're paying a premium for entertainment, not for value. Number 12, premium coffee drinks. A specialty latte now runs $8 to $10 in most markets. A basic brewed coffee starts around $4. Coffee made at home costs 30 to 60 cents a cup for quality beans, and even expensive specialty beans rarely top $1.25 a cup. A daily coffee shop habit at a modest $7 a drink runs $2,555 a year. The same habit at home costs under $250 a year. That's a difference of over $2,300 annually for the same caffeine. Invested at a reasonable long-term return over 30 years, that gap compounds into a genuinely life-changing sum well over $250,000 for making coffee at home instead of standing in line. None of this makes the habit wrong. It just means most people haven't actually done the math before deciding it's worth it. Number 13, extended warranties. Buy almost anything electronic in 2027 and you'll get offered an extended warranty at checkout, sometimes twice. On a $600 laptop, that can mean a $150 to $200 add-on for coverage the manufacturer's existing warranty and your credit card's built-in purchase protection often already provide in some form. Extended warranties are one of the highest margin products retailers sell, often north of 50% profit, precisely because most items never actually break within the coverage window, and when they do, the repair cost frequently comes in under what the warranty cost in the first place. Retail employees are incentivized to push these hard because the commission on a warranty often exceeds the commission on the product itself. Setting aside the money you would have spent on warranties into your own self-insurance fund almost always leaves you ahead over time because you're not also funding the retailer's profit margin on a repair that statistically probably won't happen. Number 14, unused gym memberships. Roughly 60 to 70% of gym memberships in any given year go significantly underused, and a large share are barely used at all after the first month. The average membership runs $50 to $90 a month, plus initiation fees, plus the ones people forget to cancel entirely. That's $600 to $1,100 a year, often for a facility visited 5 or 6 times total. Gyms know this. Their business model depends on far more members signing up than showing up. A gym with every member training regularly wouldn't have enough equipment for everyone. The membership sold isn't really access, it's the intention to go, and intentions don't require treadmills. A home setup with a few basics, resistance bands, adjustable dumbbells, a yoga mat, costs less than 4 months of an unused membership and removes every excuse tied to travel time, parking, and crowded equipment. Number 15, smart home subscriptions. The smart doorbell, the smart thermostat, the smart security system, almost none of them work fully without a monthly fee attached. $10 here for cloud video storage, $15 there for premium alerts, $20 for a monitoring plan on a system you already paid $400 to install. Individually small, collectively these subscriptions now average $35 to $60 a month per household with more than one smart device, which is $420 to $720 a year to keep hardware you already own from being partially disabled. The devices are frequently sold at a loss or thin margin specifically because the real business is the recurring fee. Read the fine print before buying any smart home product in 2027. Some genuinely need a subscription to function at all. Others offer a local storage or one-time fee option buried 3 menus deep that most buyers never find. The things draining money in 2027 share the same fingerprints as they did before: convenience, status, psychology, and inertia, dressed up in new packaging. They've risen in price while quietly declining in value, and they all depend on people not running the numbers. Running the numbers changes everything. Stack even 4 or 5 of these categories together, and you're looking at $10,000 to $20,000 a year in spending that delivers little lasting value. Redirected consistently, that same money builds real wealth instead. The economy is designed to make spending feel automatic. Your only real defense is awareness, understanding what things actually cost, what they're actually worth, and the size of the gap between those two numbers. None of these 15 categories are inherently evil. Some might genuinely be worth it to you. The question was never whether anyone should spend money on these things. The question is whether the spending is a conscious decision or whether it's just happening while you're not paying attention. Your money either works for corporations or it works for you. In 2027, knowing the difference is worth more than ever.